like, you know, normally you have, like... Oh, my goodness. Oh, it's just, like, a little cutscene here. This is, like, how the FF8 opening is told.
Gods themselves walk these lands.
Not anymore, it's not.
Our continent of Valentia was home to two of them, sibling gods named Duma and Milla. The elder god Duma believed mankind must be ruled by strength, lest we become corrupt, while his sister Milla believed we should be free to pursue lives of pleasure and comfort.
Gods?
The two clashed ceaselessly. It was a long, dark age before the bitter conflict was resolved with the binding of a divine accord. Valentia would be divided in twain, with Duma ruling the north and Milla ruling the south. And in order to secure a lasting peace, each pledged never to violate the other's dominion. For millennia, this accord was honored, and peace did indeed reign. In time, the kingdom of Zofia, which Milla founded in the south, prospered with the goddess's love and blessings. Hers were a happy people who knew no toil and lived free of hardship. But Milla's gifts spoiled the Zophians, and it was only a matter of time before they sank into depravity. Meanwhile, in the north, Duma had built his own empire. Tempered by harsh lands and the even harsher teachings of their fierce god, the people of Rigel had grown strong. But in their quest for power, the Rigelians had let their hearts grow cold and numb to all kindness. Both halves of the continent were in a fragile state, and the cracks had begun to show. And now, Valentia lies on the cusp of a terrible war that could forever alter its history.
Ooh, I am super interested in how this is gonna go. Act 1, Zofia's Call. Is this like an in-game cutscene? Oh, yeah. They did well with what they could with the graphics of this game. For the 3DS, like, with the 3DS's limitations, they did so well. Imagine if this was a Switch game.
Well done, We'll end today's training here.
This game, like, I haven't seen enough of it yet. But, like, it looks very close enough to Three Houses, but Three Houses has the edge of being on the Switch. If this game was on the Switch, this could be one of the best looking Fire Emblem games ever. I mean, Path of Radiance also looks really good for the time it was made for GameCube, but this game looks nice. I think just the fact that it was on the 3DS holds it back a bit, but even on the 3DS, it looks really good, really good.
Your swordsmanship has come a long way. I've always known you had talent.
You really think so? You're not just saying that, are you, Grandfather?
Either I'm getting old or you're getting better. And we both know I'm not old.
Well, good. Then that means you're ready to let me travel outside the village.
Don't misconstrue my words, boy. The rule still stands.
But why? I'm not a child anymore. You just said I can fend for myself. If I meet with any dangers, I'll have my sword and my wits.
That's not what this is about.
Also, it didn't tell me how much, It didn't tell me how much, how many years it was since the childhood. We don't know how old Alm is now.
Then what is it about?
It's your favorite presentation-wise? I could see it being up there. I have to see more of the game. I have to play it more. So far, I mean, of the three I played, Path of Radiance, for the time, looked good. Three Houses has its hiccups. I love the art style in Three Houses, like the portraits. I love the portraits. The in-game graphics of Three Houses are questionable. Like, you know, the models of Three Houses are like, they're not awful, but they're like the worst part of the graphics. I have to see more of this game to see if it's up there.
Look, I've heard from the others. I know the drought's made Zofia a scary place. People are starving, and many have turned to thievery and plunder. Brigands loot villages for a mere sack of grain, and soon they'll be at our door. And don't think I haven't heard what the Regalian army has been up to. They've been crossing the border for years in violation of the Divine Accord. And with that sacred bond broken, now the terrors have resurfaced as well.
All true.
Zofia is full of innocent people who are looking for help. Please, Grandfather. I want to make a difference in a world bigger than a handful of houses. I want to see all the amazing places you've told me about. That Celica told me about.
Suppose you do set forth with your sword and your wits. So what? Will the grand story of your life be how you met the end of a brigand's axe? Before you dream of changing the world, learn your damn place in it. And no more talk of leaving.
What's his problem? Why teach me to use a sword if you're not going to let me fight?
I'm with you. Probably for self-defense, but I'm still with you. Need to get in on the action.
Every day in this place is exactly the same as the next. I know I'm meant for more than this, but you have to let me find it. Huh? What's all the commotion? It's coming from the gates.
Oh, hey. Oh, I forgot this is a remake of another game called Fire Emblem Gaiden. I forgot this is a remake, technically. So apparently the prologue with the children is new. Okay. No one here to speak to. Examine. Okay. Cliff scorched a wall here while practicing some fire spells. Oops. Oh, is Cliff a mage, I guess? Firewood. This is where we chop wood. I know, thrilling. I will say, I'm a big fan. What I'm already a big fan of is, I'm pretty sure Ike in Path of Radiance was basically a silent protagonist. I don't recall. I think he was. And Byleth is a silent protagonist. I'm definitely more of a fan of having protagonists with, like, personalities and fully fleshed out character arcs, presumably. Let's go to the square, I guess. Whoops. I keep pressing A because Tales of Destiny has me press B as the confirm button. Or no, it's the other way around.
What I wouldn't give for some food.
Man, is this game like fully voiced?
It's been years since we've had a proper harvest. Can't grow much without rain.
Are you eating Regal?
Why has Milla forsaken us? What's happened to the Earth Mother? She's killing us by withholding her blessings. The Regalian Empire will seize our lands, and we'll be too weak to resist. You've heard how well-trained their soldiers are, haven't you? We've never toiled or fought for a thing, and we're about to pay for it.
I did speak in Path of Radiance? Oh, well, that shows how much I remember Path of Radiance. Grandmere Village used to be known across the kingdom for its magnificent wine, but alas, it's been ages since anyone made a new batch. Valentia's fanciest nobles would send orders for wine from far and wide. If there are any bottles left, they're like to be aged. They are like to be aged to perfection by now. A wine that mature would taste absolutely incredible. I'd give anything for one more glass before Mother Milla calls me home. This Milla and Duma stuff is interesting. I look forward to it. It's very Grandia too.
Well, if it isn't Alm, you all finished with today's training?
Man, is this game like mostly voiced? I'm down.
I still remember when you were only this tall, and now look at you. Sir Myson has certainly made a strong young man out of you. I say Sir Myson, but the story is your grandfather was once a famous general. General Myson. I always wondered why such a fellow would end up here. Then again, the woods around Ram have become dangerous as of late. Perhaps it's for the best that we have him, and you, to keep us safe.
It's good to know our plight has the nobility so grief-stricken. King Lima dances at the end of Chancellor Desay's puppet strings. The king would rather eat grapes and frolic in a seraglio than actually rule. It's no wonder the kingdom's being torn apart by rebellion after rebellion. I wish someone would come along and save us from ourselves already. What's that? The Mother Milla? Like I'd waste my prayers on a goddess as useless as her.
I'm assuming the one that flashes orange is the one.
Oh, hey,
Is the where we? It's like, hey, this is where you have to go.
this fellow's here to see Sir Myson. He was just about to tell us more.
Oh, you're Tobin. You were one of the kids from the childhood arc. Oh my goodness. Oh, Gray. That's Gray, Max Mindelman.
Sorry, pal, but I still can't trust a man in full armor. Keep one hand on your hilt while you talk to this guy, yeah?
Yeah, now you sound a lot more like Ryuji. I think Max Mindelman also does Shigure from Berseria. I'm pretty sure.
A knight? Can you believe it? What's he doing in our village? You'd have to practically ride off the edge of the map to find this place.
I wonder who you are voiced by.
Good day. You must be Sir Myson's grandson. Alm, was it?
This guy sounded really familiar too. I bet all these voices are like people I could possibly know or should know.
My name is Lucas. I fight for the Deliverance.
The Deliverance? What's that? Aren't you one of the Knights of Zofia? The King's Knights?
Oh, I see. I suppose that means word hasn't yet reached your village.
Are you Dohalim? Sounds a lot like Dohalim.
In that case, please forgive me for heralding such dark news, but King Lima IV is dead. He met his end some days ago at the hands of Chancellor Desay.
What? You're saying it was regicide?
I fear so. It seems Desay sold Zofia to the Regalian Empire, along with his soul. No doubt they promised him lands, perhaps even a title. Upon Lima's death, the Chancellor and the Regalian army seized Zofia Castle and began to visit unspeakable injustices upon the king's people. Sir Clive, of the Knights of Zofia you mentioned, would have none of it.
Robbie Damon, that's Tobin. Alright, Tobin does kind of sound like Robbie Damon. I don't know who Greg Chun is. I guess that's not Dohalim, that's all I know.
He formed an army to free us from Regal and named it the Deliverance. However, we are outmatched and fast losing this war. We need a hero's aid. And so, I have come to the home of one of Zofia's greatest heroes, Sir Myson. Do you see, Alm? Sir Clive would not have sent me were it not urgent.
Greg Chun is probably someone of a game I played, but I just don't recognize the name.
Will you take me to see your grandfather?
Yes, of course. Good goblets. I knew Zofia was in hot water, but is this guy serious? So there's going to be a war?
There already is one from the sound of things.
But that's awful. rides off to war. What'll happen to Alm?
This voice. I really wish I could replay the dialogue.
You got me.
This is gonna be voice acting galore with like voice acting. Yeah, it's a lot of it's voiced. I meant more the sense of, hey, I'm gonna recognize a lot of these.
Lucas, were you able to speak with my grandfather? What did he say?
He said no. Sir Myson made it clear he has no intention of joining the Deliverance.
What? But he's ridiculously strong. He could defeat some stuffy chancellor with his eyes closed. Why would he refuse when so many people are suffering?
I cannot speak to Sir Myson's thinking, but it seems we misplaced our hopes. I'll have to return to our hideout and bring Sir Clive the ill news. Perhaps Myson has simply grown too old for the battlefield. It was good meeting you, Alm. I must be on my way. Thank you again for your assistance.
He's not old. He's tougher than men half his age.
Red Chun is Ike's ultimate voice, and Scotch in FF7R Scotch. Scotch is not a name I recognize. Must have been a he must have been like a side character, only in the side quest or something.
Lucas, wait!
What is it?
I'll go. I'll join the Deliverance.
You?
What the hell? You can't do that. Wait, can he do that?
Yeah, this guy is definitely Robbie Damon. He sounds a lot like Saray from Zestiria.
I'll admit, you fight like a beast, and they'd be lucky to have your sword. But this isn't sparring with your Gramps, Alm. You're volunteering to go to war.
I know what it is. And if Grandfather won't do it, then I'll do it for him. Consider my sword as his.
I understand how you feel, but...
Sir Myson has been teaching me to use a blade since I was a boy. I've received tutelage in military tactics, medicine, weather, terrain. I know as much about war as any man who has never seen one can. Let me fight for you with my grandfather's gifts. I'll prove he's no cowardly old man. He's a warrior who trains warriors.
That might just work.
Huh? Then you mean...
Oh, come on. You can't be serious.
Why not? Alm presents a good case. He has a hero's blood in him, and clearly a hero's fire. His presence is sure to raise the troops' morale. And for my part, I'm curious to see what a self-proclaimed warrior can do. Especially now that he'll be doing it for the Deliverance.
Thank you, Lucas. You won't regret this.
I've seen a lot of cake taking in my day, but this really takes the cake.
You should back out of this. It's far too dangerous.
Yo, this sounds like it's Laphicet from Berseria. I'm pretty sure. Not Velvet's like actual brother, like Laphicet the Moloch.
If anything were to happen to you, I mean, just don't do it, okay?
Yeah, this is definitely like Laphicet's voice. I played Berseria so many times, plus I'm trying to platinum that game currently, and I'm like, I have to replay it. This is definitely like Laphicet's voice. Like the Moloch one.
I'm sorry, Faye, but I've made up my mind.
Who apparently the voice's name is Amber Connor. It's not a name I recognize, but that sounds just like Laphicet.
But maybe all of you could come with me.
What?
Splendid idea. Maybe we could all get impaled on the same lance.
Now you, I have no idea who you'd be voiced by. I don't even have a clue.
I'm just saying we could do it together. Fighting, I mean, not the lance. Grandfather trained all of us, right? Not just me. You already know how to use a sword and a bow, so what's the problem?
Are you insane? We were sparring with wooden fences and tree trunks. They don't hit back.
Oh, sod it all. I'm not as bright as I'd like to think I am, so, count me in.
Gray, not you too.
Me too, Toby Poo. It's better than waiting for Rigel to reach Ram and kill, slash, and slave us. Might as well bring the fight to them.
But you're gonna... I mean, once they...
You have my thanks, Gray, and the Deliverance welcomes you. In the end, we need every able fighter we can get. There will be much to learn, but I can teach you a great deal in battle. And you'll be given a proper wage, of course.
Wait, you mean we get paid? As in actual money?
Of course. Our soldiers work hard and sacrifice much. We would be remiss not to offer compensation.
I've got little brothers and sisters who could use that gold. Ma and Pa struggle to make ends meet. But if there's a way to help...
Tobin, you don't have to go if you don't want to. Why don't you all take a little time to think about it? Let's split up for now and meet back here later. I need to go thank my grandfather and say goodbye.
Interesting, interesting.
Take all the time you need, Alm. You should pay your respects to Sir Myson.
I just had to see if there was extra dialogue. I am going to lower the music a bit more. Still feels pretty loud. And the more we can hear the voices, the better, so...